I got a big what went wrong last week, and time to pile on GOP again. The RNC Republican National Convention sent out a tweet, and I'm going to read you the tweet. It was a image of Rosa Parks with a quote by Rosa Parks, and accompanied with it, the tweet that they accompanied with that image was. Today we remember Rosa Parks' bold stand and her role in ending racism. So the GOP apparently believes that racism ended in the 50s. And predictably, there's a big backlash on Twitter as a result of their faux pas there. But it's just another example of clueless white people tweeting, right? I mean, seriously. And the problem is, it's not just that. It's that it completely feeds into the stereotype of Republicans giving lip service to reaching out to minorities, right? I mean, from Katrina to voter suppression, it just fits the GOP like a glove, unfortunately for them. So I don't know. I've been watching this great series of mini-series on the history of African Americans on PBS. It's fantastic. And I've been thinking of doing a short version of that for public relations and communications people to get a clue as to what works and what doesn't when it comes to talking about race online. So.
Well, and not only racism, but there are so many really, difficult, touchy issues that are just not handled well by brands. We talk about them here every week, and sensitive issues handled insensitively and cumulatively, those create really big problems. And this one, it might sound funny, but it's not.
Having been a press secretary at the Republican National Committee, I can speak to this issue. This is back in the 80s. I think to some extent, David, you have both. Let's just say maybe they're not ignorant of history, but we've had a number of situations on this show where it seems that generationally they don't have the same sensitivity. But we don't know that.
I think it's actually the former. I think it's the former. You have young people doing social media. And I had, the example that we had a couple of episodes ago with Home Depot, I talked to a young millennial who didn't understand what the issue was, because one of these things is not like the other, she said. Well, she didn't have the history of how African Americans were demeaned throughout our history by comparing them to animals, right? She didn't know that, so she didn't get the reference.
So that happens all too often, and I'm really sad that it happens as often as it does, and that absolutely nothing seems to impact on it to stop.
Well, then let me make this point at the 5-minute mark or the 6-minute mark, and just to move forward, because we're all in our midlife areas, okay? And this is why, from the Holocaust on through, there is this phrase that says, never forget. And at first, sometimes you may think that that's trite, but it is so easy to forget. From just continue to reiterate, not only to be sensitive, but to be educated about how different cultures in our society and different segments of our society have been treated over the years. And that all that takes is a bit of reading and a bit of watching some documentaries on Beyond Social Media, Beyond Social Media show on YouTube, Beyond Social Media show on the Google Plus page. David Erickson can be found at e-strategyblog.com, on Twitter at @derickson, and then the Daily Numbers, of course, are the Daily Numbers on Twitter. B.L. Achman at whatsnextblog.com, Cover your right eye when you go to that blog. She'll have an eye test for you.
Solidarity.
And on Twitter at What's Next, also a regular contributor to AdAge. Thanks so much for watching the show. I'm Albert Marugi. I'm on ProvidentPartners.net and Albert Marugi at Twitter. Till next week, take care, everybody.